The deck jolts like something just yanked the whole ship sideways. A group of pirates is already up here. A rifle snaps into aim. Metal slams against a steel door. Sharp, brutal, again and again. One of them roars, his voice raw in the wind. Down! Everyone down! The crew barely understands what's happening before boots kick them flat to the deck. Someone lifts their head, too slow, and a rifle butt crashes down, killing the thought of resisting. A rope tightens. Hands are wrenched behind backs. On the deck now, there's only ragged breathing, pounding footsteps, and the dry, terrifying click of a weapon being readied, like a verdict. The door! Open it! The next blow makes the steel door to the bridge shudder. Inside, the man at the controls freezes. A shaking hand grabs the radio, signal breaking up, distorted, strangled, as if someone is crushing the voice right out of it. That steel door is the last line. If it breaks, this ship becomes a prison. No rules, no way back. A pirate kicks the latch and keeps screaming. Another drags a crewman to the rail, yanks his hair, forces his face up. He turns a hostage into a key. One pull of the trigger, one violent shove, and everyone goes silent. And they do go silent, not because they're weak, because in that moment, survival matters more than bravery. You think this is an action movie? No, stop right here. This is a real case file. Year 2008, off the coast of Somalia. A cargo ship named Faina was seized by pirates, and what made the world hold its breath wasn't just ransom money. On these waters, ransom is nothing new. But Faina was different, because down in her hold, according to what was being whispered and reported at the time, was cargo so sensitive that if it fell into the wrong hands, the consequences could echo for years, even ignite new cycles of violence. On the deck, the pirates don't need to kill anyone immediately. They need hostages, they need time, they need to turn the ship into a living shield. One man walks the line of bound crew, kicking anyone who twitches. Another tears through pockets, rips away phones, throws them into the sea like he's tossing away hope itself. Shouts, please, the hard tap of a rifle butt on the railing. Every sound blending into a chaos that crawls under your skin. On the bridge, that steel door keeps taking blows. Each slam says the same thing. You're in our hands. Open the door, and they flood in, total control. Don't open it, and they use a hostage to force it open. There's no good choice, only the choice that kills fewer people. And then the second explosion hits, not from fire, but from news. Information about Faina spreads. The ship's name starts appearing everywhere. Far out on the water, silhouettes of warships begin to gather. Not loud, not charging in, just heavy steel shapes watching like predators that never blink. But even they are locked in place, because there are hostages on Faina. And in the hold, cargo no one wants to slip away. One wrong shot and a hostage dies first. One aggressive move and the pirates might snap. Wait too long and the ship could be dragged toward shore, into the worst possible zone, where any rescue becomes a suicide bet. See it now? The moment pirates step onto the deck, the rules change. This is no longer a simple hijacking. This is a tug of war between human lives, armed desperation, and the pressure of a world watching. The question is, why was Faina chosen? How could a ship carrying such sensitive cargo pass through a dead zone and still be taken alive? And in the first hours, when a gun is inches from your face, when the steel door is trembling with every hit, what did the crew do to avoid being executed right there on the deck? Right now, we go back to the moment the ship entered the trap. Every small sign, every mistake, every second of delay could cost a life. Before the guns appeared on the deck, before ropes tightened around wrists, it started with something small. A black dot on the sea. It sits on the horizon like a stain. If you don't look closely, you tell yourself it's just a fishing boat. But out here, the most dangerous thing always looks ordinary first. Minutes pass, the dot grows, and then you realize it's not passing by. It's coming straight at you. This is how pirates hunt. They don't need big ships. They need speed, surprise. The exact moment a crew relaxes, the moment everyone thinks, we're fine. Faina hit that exact moment. A cargo ship doesn't always move fast. There are watches, eyes on the water, but all it takes is 1 minute looking away. 1 minute focused on work. 1 minute trusting that today will be calm. And when the speedboat opens up, the engine's scream slices through your nerves like a saw. The louder it gets, the later it is. It closes on the hull, circles once, circles. Then lunges like a predator. Shots crack into the air, not to kill right away, to freeze the will to fight, to make every person on deck understand. From this second on, anyone who resists dies first. On deck, people run. Someone lunges for the radio. Someone tries to lock a door. Someone tries to gather others. But the pirates are faster. They brought exactly what they need. Ropes, hooks, ladders, guns. The ladder flies up. The hook bites the railing. The rope pulls tight like a noose. And then they climb. Not slowly, like a race. The first man lands on deck and the next is already over the rail. One throws a rope to another. One rolls aside, weapon up. And the moment anyone moves, there's a shout hard and dry like a firing order. Down! All of you, down! In seconds, the deck changes owners. They split. One group charges the bridge where control lives. The other sweeps the deck, herding crew like livestock. Someone is yanked down. Someone's shirt is grabbed, arms twisted, wrists bound. They don't need a long fight. They don't need a clean win. They just need fear, so strong nobody can think. Inside the bridge, the door takes hammering blows. Each hit says, "Open up or we break it." The man inside knows this steel door is the last breath of safety, but it's also a trap. Open it and they flood in. Don't open it and they'll use a hostage to make you, and that's exactly what they do. A crewman is dragged to the door. A gun presses into his back. A roar, "Open it!" Then a rifle butt taps his head. Slow, deliberate like a countdown. No need to shoot, just show they can. That's when people break. Because at sea, when you see a teammate with a gun at his spine, you stop being sailors. You become human. And every human knows, if you try to be heroic right now, the first one to pay might not be you. One beat too late, and someone drops on the deck and never stands again. In that chaos, the pirates do something crucial. They cut the ship's voice. They search. They seize communications. They lock what can be locked. They turn the ship into a sealed box and they hold the key. Then they choose a human shield. Someone is hauled up. It doesn't matter who, only that the ship won't dare sacrifice him. They bind him and shove him where everyone can see. And from that moment, any plan to fight back is broken. Because fighting back means accepting a cost. Here, the cost is a life. Once the deck is theirs, they move to the next step, move the ship, change course, drag it toward a place that favors them, a place where nobody can easily close in, nobody can easily strike, nobody dares risk it. See how fast it happens? A ship can be lost in minutes. No cannons, no battleships, just speed, ladders, guns, and one moment of fear taking control. This is a real case. Year 2008, off the coast of Somalia, the ship Faina was seized exactly like this. And then, as whispers spread about what was down in her hold, the hijacking turned into a ticking bomb. It wasn't just ransom anymore. From that second on, it wasn't only the crew trapped on Faina. The world was pulled into the game, because the question stopped being, how much do they want? It became, if this ship reaches shore and that cargo disappears, who pays the price? Out on the sea, everything still looks calm. But if you stare into the distance, you'll see a dark line on the horizon. Not clouds, not waves, warships. They appear quietly, keeping Faina at a distance, close enough to watch every movement on the deck, far enough not to corner the hostages. Binoculars locked on, cameras rolling non-stop. On those warships, people don't talk much. Everyone understands. One reckless decision, and blood spills on the deck of a ship already under a gun. On Faina, the pirates turn the deck into their territory. One group watches the bow, one watches the bridge. A few sit right at the stairwell to the lower decks, rifles across their laps like everyday tools. They don't need to fire. They just need the crew to feel it. We're here, always. That constant surveillance, every breath measured, breaks people faster than bruises. Daytime burns, the deck turns into a frying pan. Night cuts cold, wind slices like blades. The crew are tied up. In cycles, released, then bound again, like animals being managed. Every time a door creaks open, everyone flinches. Is it water or a rifle butt? A crewman shifts his weight, barely. A shout snaps, a kick lands in the ribs, a muzzle dips down again. They don't need to cripple anyone. They only need to remind them, one wrong move, you die. But the real danger isn't only the hostages, it's what lies in the hold. According to multiple reports and talk at the time, Faina was suspected of carrying a large weapons shipment. The moment that idea spreads, the air changes. If this were an ordinary cargo ship, it's a ransom story. But if the world believes there are weapons below deck, things that could fuel violence somewhere, then this hijacking becomes a ticking bomb, and the entire region tightens around it. Outside, warships, inside, hostages, between them, sensitive cargo. A three-layer problem. Mess up any layer and everything collapses. And the pirates understand that. They start dragging the ship toward shore, not to show off, to lock everyone's hands. The closer to shore, the harder to close in. The closer to shore, the deadlier a firefight becomes. The closer to shore, the more eyes they have backing them. Once the ship enters the right distance, every rescue plan turns into a suicide wager. Out there, warships stalk like ghosts, never leaving, never closing too far. But every time the distance shrinks, pirates drag a hostage to the rail and raise a gun like a warning flag. It's dirty, it's cruel, and it works. Hostages are the lock. So the real battle begins. Not a battle of bullets, a battle of nerves, messages, calls, offers, threats, quiet negotiations, every number weighed, every hour calculated, every risk measured, because everyone knows, drag this out and hostages collapse, push too hard and pirates snap, give in too easily and they grow bolder, push too hard and one gunshot on the deck, everything falls apart. Meanwhile on Faina, fear becomes physical. Hunger, thirst, heat, cold, and the eyes of men holding rifles. The crew stop counting days by calendars. They count by doors opening, by names being called, by the distant hum of warships outside, like a promise and like helplessness at the same time. A crewman stares toward the horizon and spots a warship. For 1 second, his eyes light up. And in that same second, a shout drags him back to reality. A rifle butt taps the railing, slowly, like a reminder. Don't dream. And here's the worst part. The pirates don't need to win everything. They only need to not lose. Keep hostages alive, keep control of the ship. The more the world fears risk, the more power the pirates have. But tension isn't only about hostages and cargo. It's also about time. Time weakens hostages. Time creates mistakes. Time exhausts armed men until they break. And when someone breaks, negotiation dies. Because there's no logic in a man who's snapped. Out there, warships keep watching. On the deck, pirates keep guarding. In the hold, the sensitive cargo sits like a weight pressing on the entire sea. Now the question is no longer, will there be a rescue? It's, how do you end this without turning the ship into a tragedy in front of the world? Because one small incident, one struggle, one stray shot, one hostage running the wrong way, and everything slips out of control in seconds. That's when people realize the real fight of Faina isn't on the sea. It's inside every breath. And next, we reach the decision point. How did the world end this ticking bomb? When hostages were exhausted, the ship was dragged closer to shore. And one more mistake could sink everyone together. Now comes the decision. No slogans, no speeches. Out on the sea, warships still shadow the ship. On Faina's deck, guns still point downward. In the hold, the sensitive cargo keeps everyone cautious. And between it all, hostages. Time is no longer on anyone's side. The longer it drags, the weaker the hostages become. The more exhausted the pirates get, the closer they drift to snapping. One sudden scare, one scream, one stray shot, and everything collapses like a building coming down. The world may want a forceful rescue, but here, force is chained by something simple: human life. The pirates understand it better than anyone. They pull the ship toward the area where they feel strongest. They drag hostages onto the deck so warships can see them clearly. Don't try it. And the standoff keeps stretching, so tight that even a rumor can shake the entire sea. Then, the moment everyone feared arrives. A ransom deal is set, not under spotlights, not with applause, but with silence, heavy as stone. At the time, many reports spoke of a ransom in the range of a few $1,000,000. On Faina's deck, the pirates' behavior begins to shift. Same guns, same eyes, but the edge in their guarding eases, just slightly. They stop hammering the bridge door the way they did at the start. They wait, they calculate, they count. Because for them, this is the closing moment. And then, after months in captivity, around early February 2009, roughly 5 months later, the armed men begin to leave the ship. One by one, they step down into speedboats. There's no cinematic final shootout, no perfect rescue raid, just a hard truth. The ship is released because the price is paid. On Faina, ropes come off. Hands numb from being bound too long, shake like they've crawled back from the bottom of the sea. Some collapse onto the deck, breathing like they're learning how to breathe again. Some stare at the horizon, and, for the first time in months, their eyes aren't pinned down by a gun. Afterward, the ship moves away from the zone under escort toward safety. But listen closely. Released doesn't mean finished, because some things don't leave with the pirates. Fear, trauma, the memory of being turned into a living shield. In this case, there were also reports that one crew member died during captivity due to health issues. So why did Faina make the world hold its breath? Quick decode. 3 cuts, clean and painful. First, hostages were the lock. With hostages on the deck, any hard strike becomes a bet that can kill in seconds. Second, dragging the ship closer to shore locks hands. The closer to shore, the harder it is to move, to strike, to control the outcome. Third, the suspected sensitive cargo turned a ransom case into a global fear. Not just money, fear of what could happen if that cargo vanished into the wrong hands. And now, your turn. If you like real case files told like a breathless action film, subscribe to Dead Zone and turn on notifications. Because next episode, I'm taking you into an even tighter situation, where one small mistake turns a ship into hell. And I'm asking you directly, if you were the captain on Faina, with pirates already all over the deck, what do you choose to save your people? Do you lock the bridge and hold out to the end, or open up and negotiate to buy time? If you had exactly one chance to send a distress signal, do you send it immediately, or wait for the 1 second the pirates look away?